Heather here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of e-readers, especially the Kindle Paperwhite. So this here is my Kindle Paperwhite. I actually have this nice leather case for it. I got the blue color with this case, which now they actually have this color, which I'm a little miffed about because I wanted a pink one or a pinkish colored one, but this one didn't exist back in June or May. I think I ordered it in May, but it didn't actually ship out till June. So, I'm going to start off with the cons and then go to the pros. I want to start off by saying, I never thought that I would get an e-reader. Kindle Paperwhite to be specific. I swore up and down that I would never, ever, ever own one, and I would never read an ebook because, bleh, well, I have to learn to be practical, and I have to realize that I don't have infinite space. So, I decided to get the e-reader, or the Kindle Paperwhite. And it was so funny because I didn't tell my husband I had gotten it. And then when it came, I showed it to him and told him, I was like, brace yourself. I have something to tell you. And he's like, oh no. So I told him what I had done. And he goes, who are you and what have you done with my wife? And I was like, honey, it's me. He goes, no, really, where's my wife? Get out of my house. It was hilarious. But, so, the cons of the Kindle Paperwhite. The first thing that's a con for me is there's no pages. Like, this is as much as a page as I get. Like, I like actually having a book and like flipping through the pages. I love this. I love the smell, too. The smell. This is lacking the smell of books. It's lacking 3. The spine crack. Like when you first freshly open a brand new book and you hear the spine crack. And then the sniff of smell. Like you don't get that. Also, there's the fact that, you know, going and browsing at the store and like having a pile of books and going up to the register and like looking at all your books and then lugging them around the mall or the store or whatever. Like, you don't get that joy. Then there's also the fact that you have to charge it. Now, I will say, when you plug this in, at least the Kindle Paperwhite, it charges in like an hour. And then it will last you like 2 weeks or something. It lasts a really long time. So even though you do have to charge it, the charge lasts for quite a while, which is a pro. But the con here is that you have to charge it. Another con is that you can be reading your book and then it will decide to do an update. I remember one time I was like reading at 2 in the morning and it starts updating. Now granted, I understand most people aren't reading at 2 a.m. in the morning, but I was. And I was enjoying my book and I think I had to like pause for 5 minutes while it updated. Really? Really? Another thing is, at least my Kindle Paperwhite glitches. Like, I'll go and hit it to, like, turn the page, and it will, like, not turn. And then I'll go to hit it again, it will, like, turn 2 pages, or it will move forward 2 pages, and then I have to go back. And, like, when it transitions, it does, like, this weird, like, I don't know if I can show. But, like, I don't know, like, glitches, kind of. But, yeah. So that's pretty much like the cons of reading this. Now the pros, there actually are quite a bit of pros. One, it saves space. I have over 800 books. Over 800 books in this thing. That's amazing. Like, I think probably back here I probably have about 50 books alone right here. And this is taking up a lot of space. I mean, I have this here. I have 3 bookshelves in my library here at my apartment, plus stacks on the floor. I have more DNF books in a box that I haven't been able to put over here yet. And then at my parents' house, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9 bookshelves? Yeah, like 9 bookshelves at my parents' house. So I'm kind of running out of room to put books. So, yeah. Pretty much, if it's not a book by an author that I absolutely love, like Julie Kagawa or Cassandra Clare, or I'm not already in the middle of, like, the series, and, so, like, for instance, the Shatter Me series. I have, like, the original, like, trilogy with, like, the novella, but then they have, like, the other half. I haven't purchased the second half that was released in the last few years yet, but I'm gonna buy the physical copy of that because I have the physical copy of the first. So if I've already started buying the book as a physical copy, I'm going to continue that way. But if I start a new series that isn't by a favorite author and, you know, it's brand new, I'm going to buy this version to save space. So, yes, first pro. The second pro, you literally have pretty much your whole library at your fingertips. I have over 800 books on here. So, no matter what mood I am in, no matter what I want to read, pretty much, it's going to be on here. And this is going on to another kind of pro to it. You have all the books at your fingertip. As long as you have money, you can buy whatever book you want. You don't have to, like, you know, this happened to me one time. I got the first book of the Morganville Vampire series, which if you haven't read it, it's amazing. Sad to say I haven't finished it. I think it's like 15 volumes and I'm on like 8 or something. But I finished the first book and I remember being at home and I was like, I need the second book. I need it now. And of course all the bookstores are closed. So I had to wait till the next day and then I like bought all of the next books that they had available. I forget, it was Borders, smaller company, or small. Walden Books. Walden Books is where I used to buy all of my books from, pretty much. So I went to Walden Books and I bought all the ones that they had next in the series. Then there was another time I got The Other Boleyn Girl by Philippa Gregory. I think that's her name. Yeah, Philippa Gregory. And, I bought it from Goodwill. Well, I got to like page 400 and something, and all of a sudden, I go to the next page, and it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like going back and forth. I'm trying to figure out why, like, the conversation isn't continuing. And then I realized there's 30 pages missing. It literally went from like page 450 something to 480 something. So it's misprinted. It was a misprinted copy. And I was so mad because I was enjoying it. So I bought this book at Goodwill for like 50 cents. Now, because it's missing 30 pages of the book, I had to wait to go to Walden Books to pay, I think it was like $15 or $16 for a brand new copy so that I could read these 30 missing pages. I mean, granted, yeah, I could have gone to the library, but that's not what I wanted to do. So, but if I had had a Kindle, probably wouldn't have been missing pages. Or if I had bought the 50-cent book at Goodwill, I could have then just bought the Kindle version and saved myself the trip and I wouldn't have had to wait. So, like, literally, if the next book's available, you can just purchase it. There is no waiting. Yet again, as long as you have the money. Which, I guess this could be another con, I want to say. Sometimes the Kindle edition is more expensive than the physical book. This happened, The Lost Odyssey or The Last Odyssey by James Rollins recently came out, and the mass market book is like $7.99 or $8.99, and then the Kindle edition is like $9.99, $10.99. I'm like, why am I paying more for a digital version than for, you know, why am I charging more for a digital version than the physical copy? So I ended up buying the physical copy because I'm not going to pay you $2 more for digital content. So, you kind of also, if you're watching your money, like if you want to be like fiscally sound, I would check the Kindle prices versus the physical book prices, because sometimes the Kindle is more expensive, and I don't think that, personally, I don't think that's right. I don't think you should charge more for something that's floating around in the cloud somewhere than something that you can actually like hold in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So I keep that in mind. But yes, you can, this is great for traveling. This is great because you have like everything that you could ever want in your fingertips. You can, you know, you can put this in your purse and take it with you so you can read it at the doctor's office while you're waiting to get your nails done. If, I don't know, you're stuck in traffic and literally you're not moving and you're sitting there in park, or you're waiting in line to go through the bank line. You just pull this out and read it. It's great. You can take it anywhere. Also, if you're traveling, like if you're going on vacation, or you know, you go and travel a lot for work or whatever, just take this with you. I know before I've like loaded up my suitcase with like 6 books, and then I'm like, oh, where am I going to put my clothes? Now I don't have to worry about this. This I can just literally slip in my carry-on, or in the front of my luggage, or in my purse, and I've got everything that I need. So, another pro. Oh, another one. These beautiful editions here, they can get ripped, they can get stained, they can get you know, aged and worn, and you know, they can fall apart, turn to dust. Like, these are not, I mean, digital isn't forever either, but you're not, when you take your paperback and you put it in your purse, you could potentially like bend an edge, or like rip a page, or like if you're eating while you're reading, you could accidentally get food on it. Now, this here will eventually die and I'll have to get a new one, but I'll still own the books, so I should be able to download all my books onto a brand new device. And so it's just the device that gets worn and old. It's not actually your, you know, it's not like you're gonna like drop a splatter of water and like smear the ink and then like, your book is forever damaged. Like, it's not gonna happen to the content. So that's another thing. You can't damage the words on the paper. It just is. It's also easier to like highlight things and make notes. You're not having to actually damage like the pages. You're not what's that term? You're not mutilating your beautiful pages. Like, you're not circling and underlining and annotating like your beautiful books that could one day maybe be collector's editions or something. Because a lot of my books are like first edition, especially my young adult stuff. I have a lot of like first editions, and I have some signed copies. And I've also like won books from authors, or have been given books, won giveaways and stuff, where the authors have signed them. And those can get damaged. They can get ruined. But yeah, your Kindle is not going to... Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to mark up or mutilate one of those books that are signed. That's a first edition. That's really special. But you know what? I can mark and do all that stuff and then just go and delete it if I want to. Erase it. No big deal. You can't do that if you're making marks in your nice books. They're ruined. But yeah, and then not only that, but another thing is, like, especially since I buy so many books, I like my books to be all the same. So if I start a book in hardback, I want them all in hardback. If I do them in paperback, I want them all in paperback. And then a lot of times authors will like change the covers, they'll change the size of the books, and then you're like, why? Why did you do that? Like, for instance, Fire and Bitterblue from the Graceling series. They have re-released Graceling, Fire, and Bitter Blue because Winterkeep is coming out. Well, they changed all of the covers, all of them, and I believe they're all in paperback, but Winterkeep. So my covers that I have here are not going to match the new hardcover that I just ordered. So that's another, like, I want to say that's a con for physical books. Because this is it doesn't matter what the cover is. They don't have to all perfectly match. All the book covers are like the same size. Like, I'll actually show you all. Actually, I have one here. Girls Save the World in this one. Oh, another pro to this. The time. So I can be sitting here reading, and you know how sometimes you really get sucked into a book and like time escapes you? Well, this, you literally have a clock staring you at your face. So you may lose time, but it's not going to be as much as if you're sitting there with a physical book and you have no clock to look at. So I actually really like that. My husband was surprised when I was like, can you figure out how to put the clock on my screen? I was like, I need that feature. But yeah, this is how like they look. They're literally all the same size, and then they just have a picture on the front. And so there's not like, oh, well, this book's bigger, that book's smaller, there's a different like cover and blah blah blah. No, they're all the same. So yeah, that's another pro to this. You don't have to worry about making sure that they're all the same editions either. Which, I mean, some people don't care. Some people mostly just go to the library and, you know, they return them, so it doesn't matter what the edition is. But if you actually want them to, like, look nice on your shelf. Which, by the way, I do have the covers, what is it, the jackets for these, but I don't like keeping them on there when I'm in the process of reading them because I don't want to damage them. So I usually take them off and, like, put them in a box with all of them. Then once I'm done, I put the jackets back on, and then I take them over to my parents' house and put them with their respective series. So, yeah. I want to take care of them so they look nice when they're on the shelf. So, I want my books to look nice. I want to have the nice editions. And I don't have to worry about that with the Kindle. It's all the same. Unless, like, something's being translated or something. Like, there might be a different translation or... Well, that is all for my pros and cons of the Kindle Paperwhite and eReaders pretty much in general. What are your thoughts? Do you prefer paperback, hardback, ebooks? Do you see like the benefits of having both? Or are you like I was initially, like, no, absolutely not. Never ever read reader, or never ever will I read ebooks? Or are you the opposite and you're like, oh, I will only read ebooks because I just don't have room for books, or you prefer reading digitally? You know, let me know, comment down below, and I hope to see y'all next time. Bye-bye!